Nope, but I didn't run into any of that. The food bank is about more than just meals. It's about encouraging and helping people when they need it most.
Today, 1 in 6 Americans don't know where their next meal is coming from. Scott here could be your neighbor, your co-worker, your friend. He's just like you, and you probably don't even know he's struggling. But you can make a difference in Scott's life today. So visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find a local food bank to help.
I'm Scott.
And I'm 50 Cent. Together we are Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, all right. Think about it. Where did you have them last?
I remember I was home, then I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the in-flight magazine.
And that's the last you saw of your savings?
Yes.
This is so weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke its gauntlet.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Talk 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Can you tell if this burger contains bacteria that could cause kidney failure? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. There's only one way to tell if you've cooked meat and poultry to a bacteria-killing temperature. Use a food thermometer. It's not an extra step or a nice-to-have. Raw or undercooked meat may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by using a food thermometer every time. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
AM 1470, WNN, with more of what you need to know. Tune in for No Bones About It with Dr. Alvin Stein, Tuesday mornings at 11 on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470, WNN.
Is your AC unit just blowing warm air, or has it stopped working completely? Call Phil Thomas AC at 954-434-4576. In business in South Florida, 50 years. Family owned and operated. Phil Thomas AC will never sell you an AC unit that you don't need. That's Phil Thomas AC, 954-434-4576.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470. WNN.
America's service members and veterans are strong, forged out of bravery, sacrifice, and duty. Sometimes reaching out for help can be the most challenging and worthwhile mission of all. When you recognize something isn't right, make the call to the Veterans Crisis Line or Military Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Or chat online at veteranscrisisline.net or text 838-255.
AM 1470 WNN. Listen live at wwnnradio.com and like us on Facebook. Search AM 1470 WWNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Shub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm your host, Dan Schub, and tonight, like we usually do at this time, we're going to talk some golf, and we will talk some travel, and we have a good show, a really good show tonight. Great lineup. Just a couple of minutes, we will be chatting with Kate Farmer, and Kate is the general manager of the soon-to-open Margaritaville Hollywood Beach Hotel. And I'm real curious to hear more about that, and I'm sure you will be too. And in a few minutes, we will have Jess's golf tip of the week. Dan's deals on travel. I've got some interesting travel news as well. I have lots of stuff going on in the travel world. I like to keep everybody up to date and share some neat things that are going on and places to go and things to see and fun to be had. So you don't want to miss any of that. But first, what I want to do is introduce to you my co-host, and that would be Jess Frank, that guy with that wonderful swing. And he is a PGA teaching professional and the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club right here in Boca Raton, Florida. Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis because he believes that every lesson and every swing is different. Jess likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, those short shots that are taught on the golf course, which instills plenty of confidence. Some of you may know him from his work at area country clubs such as St. Andrews, Boca Lago, and Broken Sound. Jess loves to teach, has a passion for the game because golf can be challenging, but Jess makes it easy for you to learn and excel. Jess, you're not with us here in the studio, so you're somewhere else. Where are you?
I am actually. Good evening, Dan, and good evening to all our listeners out there. And I'm actually growing the game of golf at Calusa Elementary tonight, as I like to do events and get out in the community, as you know.
Can you tell those kids to just grow up? Just kidding. It's great to get them started young. That's what we like, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, we've had little newborns to, we got some teenagers running through the halls here, and just getting out in the community, promoting the game, letting the kids know we're out there and the parents. And I think some of the parents like it more than the kids, but we're having a good time here. And then, of course, having a little mint chocolate chip ice cream at the ice cream social. So why not, right?
Oh, so that's how they get you there.
Yeah, they bribe me with ice cream. What can I say?
I understand. I would do it too.
I mean, I love being in the studio with you, but, when the ice cream calls, maybe that takes a little precedence. But, no, we're having a good time, and another beautiful day here in Boca Raton. I say that almost every week. I love it. And,
no, I did notice, though, that you posted on Facebook that you did have a short shower this morning while you were teaching out there. That's a shame.
Yeah, it was. It only canceled one of my lessons, and but it was a good day, and helping a lot of golfers and enjoying it, and just can't complain with that office.
Well, that one client of yours that missed their lesson, just let them know if they need to reach out to their psychologist or something. They shouldn't fret too much without that lesson of yours. They'll be okay. They'll make it to the next one.
Yeah, they I think they'll be able to handle it. We rescheduled, so.
No, but you don't know what kind of a match they had this weekend that they were counting on you for help,
Yeah, this is one of my beginner students, so, if she could have just make contact with the golf ball, get the ball in the air, I mean, right now we're in the stages of explaining actually what a tee box is and what a fairway is and a green and flag and par threes, just learning about the game, actually, just getting comfortable with it. And that's a lot of times when I teach beginners, that's just something, everybody, we take for granted because we've played for so long that, this is something that, we just take it for granted. We know everything. We know the yardages, we know the handicaps, we know where the holes go, we know sand traps, and we might not be able to, play perfect every time, but at least we're comfortable with our surroundings. There's beginners out there that just don't know anything, and it's just so funny how we take it for granted. So I take it upon myself to, really explain everything from like where to tee up a driver to, where do you start, where do you check in with a golf shop, and how to make a tee time and what to wear, and can you rent clubs or do you need to buy clubs, and you need to take lessons. It's something that really just understanding that that golf can be overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff going on when we just, we're so used to it because we just show up and tee off and we know what we're doing, and it's like second nature. But beginner golfers, especially adults who've never played, that's just like basics, and you need to cover it just to make them, comfortable just with their surroundings. So, and of course, working on the swing.
I would think though that, like you said, we take that for granted, but folks who don't know that must be very stressful, and it probably keeps a lot of people away from even showing up because they maybe don't want to admit that they don't know all these rules and etiquette and whatnot. They don't want to embarrass themselves, so they don't show up at all. No,
it's so funny. It's just like that is definitely a mindset for people because they don't know, or they've either driven a golf cart during a charity event and they've seen it, but they just don't understand it. And so once I take them out on the course or I just kind of walk them through step by step, where to check in and where the locker rooms are and where to change your shoes and where to drop off your clubs. There's like 5 things right there that we're like, whatever, we know what to do, but somebody who's never played before, it can be, it can be nerve-wracking sometimes because they don't want to mess up. They don't want to, do something wrong. And so that automatically puts a little stress on them and a little pressure. And what happens from there is that they actually they take that to the golf course and there's tension in their swing, and then they don't make contact. And then pace of play is something that I always talk about too. It's like, it's okay. If you hit a bad shot or you hit a couple bad shots, pick it up and go, drop it at the next shot. It's no big deal if you just want to keep up with the group in front of you. And so it's that in itself, I think it puts people's minds at ease and lets them know that, they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to finish every hole. They don't have to, they can keep it fun and just social and, and eventually they'll get more and more comfortable. They'll get better at the game. And it's like anything, kids learn how to, crawl before you walk. And from there, babies learn how to sit up, and then they learn how to crawl, and then they learn how to walk, and then just balancing. And so it's the same thing in golf, and you're swinging a blunt object. You don't want to hurt anybody, especially yourself. Yeah. So, but yeah, I find that I always have to kind of, talk to students and interview them and find out, what they know, what they don't know. And it's kind of like the introduction, for beginner golfers. And it's fun. And I love it because I think I get a kick out of it. I love showing people the game and how special it can be and who you can play with. And so I just, like I said, I really enjoy it.
First of all, you said about folks that maybe they've just ridden on a golf cart and that's all they know. Well, on more than one occasion, lovely volunteers who come out to golf tournaments to help have taken the golf carts and drove them right across the green. And that's obviously embarrassing for everybody to try and explain that. But that's, I give credit to the folks that are smart enough to come out and get a series of lessons and start with the basics so they are relaxed and they don't do something that makes everybody uncomfortable, especially themselves. So there's a lot of truth to that. Also, another point that you made about, people being able to pick up the ball and move ahead to keep up with the pace of play. On one hand, golf is known to be a sport of rules and regulations, and some people certainly adhere to them strictly, and that's okay, especially if they're playing in tournament play. But the fact is, like you just said, you don't have to follow all the rules as long as you don't interfere with other people's enjoyment of the game. Nobody's going to give a beginner a hard time if they pick up out of a divot or off of a route or pick up and drop next to their playing partner because they just couldn't get out of a bunker or hit a shot from where they were.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And pace of play is one of the biggest things that, especially for, all golfers, they don't want to hold anybody up. Some people are more conscious of that than others. But I always tell people, if you can see the group in front of you, you're keeping pace. And like I said, if it means that you have to pick the ball out of the bunker and throw it on the green, then go ahead and do it, especially in the beginning when you're just learning.
It's the hand wedge you use, right?
Yeah, the hand wedge, and, or the foot wedge.
Yeah.
And, and I said too, beginner golfers, let them, tee the ball up everywhere. Tee the ball up, not off the tees, but not only off the tees, but tee it up in the fairway, and get the ball in the air, get it moving. It's a tough game as it is, and somebody just starting out, you'll eventually get the ball on the ground. But, for the beginners, just make it easy, make it fun, and enjoy yourself, and have a light beverage or two after your round, and tell good stories. And, that's what golf is all about. It's about the camaraderie and the fun. So
now you have legions of children who are your followers over there today who are listening to this sage advice that you're providing to everybody, and I guess now they'll be hooked like the rest of us, huh?
Yeah, I'm hoping so, because it's a huge turnout here at Calusa Elementary. It's a great school here in Boca Raton, and I'm looking forward to helping a lot of these juniors get into the game. So it's a fun night.
Well, and I know that in the next couple of weeks you've got your camps coming up. I'll talk a little bit about that later. So any of the kids that weren't lucky enough to work with you today will have an opportunity in the near future. So we'll remind everybody as well.
I appreciate that, Dan. Thank you very much. And, you have a wonderful show.
Well, thank you. We will, although we missed you, and hopefully we'll have you back here soon and have a good time over there at Calusa.
Will do. Have a good night, Dan. Thanks.
All righty. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Golf and Travel Show, so stay tuned. And we are back. And what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about the Jess Frank Golf Academy, which is the home of the playing lesson. And, of course, my co-host, Jess Frank, who for 15 years has been improving golfers' ball striking, consistency, and distance. He's a PGA teaching professional and the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, located in Boca Raton at the beautiful Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club. So if you're a seasoned golfer who's trying to break 80, or a beginner, Jess's passion is to help you play better golf and have a lot of fun while doing it. Each lesson includes on-course time with V1 video analysis, focusing on improving all facets of your game. And for a limited time, new students who mention the Golf and Travel Show will receive a $50 Edwin Watts gift card with the purchase of a series of lessons. To learn more about the services of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, call 561-213-8579. That's 561-213-8579, or visit JessFrankGolf.com. Also, check out Jess's videos on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we are back, and interesting song, Ramble On, and sometimes I've been known to do that myself. But I did want to tell you about some deals and some news and a little bit about my travels in this segment. And then in just a few minutes, we'll be talking with Kate Farmer, the general manager of Margaritaville Hollywood Beach Hotel. You won't want to miss that. But first, I thought I would let everybody know about a golf deal. I use that word deal gingerly because typically my deals are incredible deals where you get tremendous value, usually a great vacation at a low price. In this particular case, I heard about this deal, and it's a golf deal, a golf package. It is discounted. It's discounted about 10 or 15%, so you are getting a deal. I wouldn't call it cheap, though. And this is from my friends at TripAdvisor, one of their divisions called Jet Setter. I don't know if any of you have heard about it. I get their emails reminding me about their deals every day. And again, their deals they're okay. There are a few good ones. It's not my favorite place to find deals, though, so you don't hear about me talking about them often. But they have an opportunity, at least as of yesterday, for 12 golfers who could take advantage of playing in an event called the Necker Open Pro-Am. And in case you've never heard of Necker or Necker Island, That is Richard Branson's island, where he has a home and entertains folks. Some of the rich and famous people go there and spend their vacations there as well. But this particular event that Sir Richard put together involves a tournament and a stay at Sea Island, where the PGA Tour just recently played. And you're going to have 2 nights and 36 holes at the lodge at Sea Island. And people such as Greg Norman will be there to play with you, as well as some other top pros. And so you get a couple of nights there, parties and fun. And then you go by private jet to Necker Island in the Caribbean for 3 more nights of relaxation, parties, and fun with none other than Sir Richard Branson. And you do get to play some golf challenges there. I think he has a smaller course there, not a full-size one. But it's all-inclusive, including the transportation for 2. Very, very limited. So it includes a 5-day getaway, vouchers for 2 people, a handicap scoring format, 18 holes day 2, paired with a golf legend. Same thing on day 3. All meals, all beverages, a personal butler, cocktails with Greg Norman, pro-am competitions, private jet to Tortola, private speedboat from there to Necker Island, and all of this for 2 people. Discounted price of $89,895. So, well, I see the phones are ringing. Or Ken, people are calling. They want to take advantage of this event. So you can find out more information by going to jetsetter.com if you think you'd like to play. Believe it or not, in spite of that price, I would not be surprised if that sells out very, very quickly. So I wouldn't wait too long before going to Jet Setter and seeing if you could take advantage of that. But I did want to mention it earlier in the show, because that's usually when we talk a little bit more about the golf, whether it be your tip of the week or a place to go play. I also wanted to talk briefly. Last week I called in. I was out of town. I happened to be in Houston, of all places. And, of course, my thoughts go out to the folks that have been terribly affected by the weather in Texas and Oklahoma, Houston in particular. While I was there, about 10 miles north of me, a tornado did touch down, doing some damage. There was some flooding as well. I left, and it got significantly worse. I was fortunate to get out, so I feel kind of bad. I did fly in United Airlines, which they were okay. They're not my favorite airline, but I was reading a story that happened to have been published on Yahoo, so I'll give credit to them. And they're talking about measuring on tweets, on Twitter, sentiment, what people think about airlines and who gets more positive versus more negative tweets about them, which in today's world is a great way to check the barometer, because people do it right then and there while they're on the plane, if they're happy or not happy with the service, while they're looking for their lost bag. So you really get an accurate depiction of who in the airline world is liked and who is not. And I just thought that this was kind of interesting. And they analyzed data, a company called Crimson Hexagon. They checked into the Twitter accounts for United, American, Delta, JetBlue, and Southwest. Now, my 2 favorite happen to be JetBlue and Southwest. United, American, Delta, not my favorites. But as it turned out, in the Twitter sphere, the 2 airlines that are most hated, there was a tie between American Airlines and United as the most hated airline on social media based on this study. And I'm really not too surprised. A lot of the negative posts had to do with delays, luggage issues, as well as some miscellaneous grievances. Did fly on a brand new 737-800 that United put into service, copying the model of Southwest. We've been talking over the past few weeks a little bit about the airline industry, how the revived economy, the shortage of seats, made available so that they're flying full loads, the gas fuel prices coming down, that airlines have been extremely profitable. But the number one thing that has been increasing their profitability are the miscellaneous fees and charges. And that was extremely apparent for a guy who flies JetBlue and Southwest most frequently. On United, if you wanted to check your first bag, you had to pay extra. And, okay, I get that. Fortunately, they did not charge for carry-on like some airlines are doing these days. However, snacks were quite expensive. Don't expect a free peanut. I guess that was costing them a little bit too much, so I wasn't too pleased with that. The people who work there, they were okay. They got us where we needed to go, and that was a plus. So I'd say a mixed bag as far as my experience on United, and it seems that other people have had a worse experience than I have. So I don't know. Be careful what you book. I do have to admit, though, that my expectation level often is related to the price that I pay. And obviously, the argument that some of the real discount carriers like Spirit make that, hey, we just give everybody bare bones and everything is an add-on. And if you don't want to pay the higher price, well, don't bring luggage, don't eat, don't drink, don't breathe, perhaps. But in this particular case, I've always flown Southwest to Houston, but they were more expensive than United. So the least expensive carrier was United. It was moderately priced, so my level of expectation was low, and therefore they didn't disappoint me much. So in any event, I also like to tell everybody sometimes about festivals or musical opportunities. We like to mix interesting songs, perhaps that you might not have heard on the show every once in a while. And lately, it seems that there are a lot of these cruises where they package musical themes or around a major musical act. The cruise company that puts together most of these events, or were in the forefront, the leader is the first to do it, as far as I know, is a company called Sixth Man. And they have a event going on that they just announced, and it's in conjunction with the Keeping the Blues Alive Foundation, and it's going to be the second annual Keeping the Blues Alive at Sea Music Festival, headlined by Joe Bonamassa. And he's been in the news a lot recently. He likes to give away his music. He records all of his records on his own label and then releases a lot of that for free. And then goes out on tour and sells out some pretty decent-sized theaters and arenas because his guitar playing is just that good and everybody's familiar with his music. So these cruises, they are not cheap. This one in particular starts at $875 per person. Typically, these types of cruises do also sell out very quickly, especially the lesser-priced cabins. Obviously, the value is there because they have a list of about 10 or 15, even more. 48 performances by 19 of today's best blues artists, including John Hyatt, Robin Ford, Robert Randolph, and the family band, Anna Popovic. She's a good guitar player, Joanne Shaw Taylor, and more. So the entire time that you're at sea, you are being entertained with concerts. So you might look at this as a pretty good value. For more information to find out about signing up for this, and like I say, I would not wait. I believe they have pre-sale going on right now, and if you want to get on, this is probably the time to do it. They have a separate website for this particular cruise set up. It is called bluesaliveatsea.com. That's bluesaliveatsea.com. And if you've never seen Joe Bonamassa play, look him up on YouTube and listen to his guitar playing. And if you're a fan of the guitar and blues music, then this probably is an event that you would not want to miss. So I recommend it. And, cruises these days, we've talked a lot about airlines, and we've also talked about cruises. They, too, have put on, over the years, a lot more rooms or cabins. A lot of ships are out there. So there's some good values out there, and people are taking advantage. And the cruise lines, because they're so competitive, I suppose that's why there's a lot of these customized programs, whether they be musical or other kinds of themes that folks are going on cruises for. And, there's something to be said to having it all inclusive. All your meals are taken care of. You can get alcohol taken care of. The roof over your head is there. Entertainment is all inclusive. It's kind of nice. And many of these cruise lines have done some extensive renovations to some of the older ships, and many new ones have come on board recently as well. So good value, good for a bunch of folks who want to have a good time, adults, as well as many of these for the kids. I believe Disney has been adding a whole bunch of new itineraries and cruise lines as well, and I know people who have younger kids, and Disney seems to be a great value for cruising these days as well. So I do recommend it. All right, well, what we're going to do is in just another minute or two, we're going to be talking about the new Margaritaville Hollywood Beach Hotel. You don't want to miss that. Find out about their grand opening and what they have in store for it, and a little bit more about their theme and their brand. And I'm curious about it because